Sure, he's got 1 year left. I can appreciate Craig Conroy and management of the Flames wanting to be patient and saying, yeah, he'll be fine. He can come to camp. We'll start the season and see if the offers get better. They had phenomenal offers. Phenomenal for Rasmus Andersson. One from LA that'd blow your socks off. Not players, but anyway, a hell of an offer. And he wouldn't go. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't.
So where are the offers for him as a rental?
Not as good as they were. And maybe, but again, I can appreciate in that market that guys are, and I'm not saying you guys are critical of the position that Rasmus Andersson is in right now, but he negotiated and earned his contract. And with that contract comes the right of saying no. And I think Ottawa had a package ready. Columbus had a package ready. LA had a package ready. Vegas made an offer that they thought was fair. The Flames didn't think it was fair, obviously, or he'd be there because, as you guys talked about, that appears to be where he wants to go. But this is a spicy one, and it probably isn't going to get less spicy unless he relents and says, okay, I'll go. But unless it's a perfect scenario, he's not going because he's not going to extend with any of the teams we've talked about.
Does it not make, I don't know, maybe I'm just grumpy because I had too much fun on Canada Day, but it just feels like you want players to have say and the right to go. And yes, he earned the contract, and I think he's been way underpaid for what he offers.
Yeah.
But they really, and I guess there's a change. You said it with Adams in Buffalo. You better move him now. And is that just a learning curve? Maybe almost an overplay on Conroy's, or where you can't go to this because once you get to that last year, you don't get as much for the rental if teams want to re-sign them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to move them earlier and recognize that you can't get the deal done.
Yeah.
Or does this just scream there's going to be, I keep saying it because I believe it. It's baseball, and the haves are going to be in the situation to keep collecting the higher end players and the better players, and the have-nots are going to groom them into that. And yes, you might have a stab while your team's growing and you maybe go on a run, but at some point, all these higher end, like Florida's and those, I don't know, those teams are going to keep taking it. Like, how is LA not a situation where Rasmus Andersson wants to go play? What in the F are we talking about?
I don't, well, other than the taxes. Yeah.
What about just his only chance of free agency in his whole career?
What's that?
It's his only chance of free agency his whole career.
Is that not
reasonable to say that I just want to see what's out there? Don't ask me to commit to a place I've never lived unseen. Like, I've basically been there one day at a time my whole life.
Agreed. But it's fine to do that. And I'll use the Mitch Marner experience different because, he's a pending unrestricted free agent. But both sides in Toronto decided before the start of the year that the focus had to be on hockey. It wasn't going to be on a contract. That didn't mean that Brad Treliving couldn't go to Marner and his camp, Ferris, and have a conversation about an extension at varying points of the year. And undoubtedly that happened. But that takes some intestinal fortitude as a player, right? So now you do have to focus on being as good as you can be. And he was in the regular season, right? And then things didn't go great for him, for the Toronto Maple Leafs in general. He wasn't alone in the criticism that they deserved in the playoffs, but he stuck to it, man. He stuck to it for a year. And that's what Andersson's going to have to look forward to. And sure, I mean, there's been lots of speculation around the Vegas Golden Knights and the shenanigans and all that. I don't buy it. I don't. And I want to remind people that McCrimmon and the Golden Knights tried to acquire Mitch Marner no fewer than twice. Actually, I think 3 times, including at the trade deadline, where there was a 3-way trade, as we recall, right? Toronto, Carolina, Vegas. He waived to go to Vegas. He would not waive to go to Carolina. So the interest from the Vegas Golden Knights and Mitch Marner is pretty obvious. So why are we talking about everything that went on behind the scenes and this is illegal and this, all of that stuff? Marner stuck it out. So, is Rasmus Andersson going to be able to deal with that? You guys talked about it. Whether it's only a distraction if he allows it to become a distraction, but he's not going to manage the media. Yeah. He's going to get asked about it through training camp, and not only in Calgary, every city that the Flames visit, he's going to get asked about it. He's going to get, certainly in the second half of the season, and maybe that becomes a distraction. It doesn't if his game remains solid and he doesn't allow it to be.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.